Opening night at the Garden is always very special. Wayne Carleton, some hardware to be handed out. Britt Selby is the Rookie of the Year the previous season and receives the Calder Trophy. The J.P. Bickle Memorial Trophy is handed out. And as we watched in this game, and I don't know as you would remember it, but because of color TV, the lighting at the Gardens had been augmented. It was now very bright, causing, in fact, Kent Douglas and John Bauer to wear, the black under the eyes, and probably then the sweat had it all running down their faces.
Well, Kent was quite an innovator. Kent Douglas, he was quite a piece of work, and he was the first guy to do it because I guess the glare of the bright lights. I think he was one of the few to do it. But no, they had, and the ice was awful soft that night because of the heat from the lights, and the ice got very brittle. Because I guess they had to freeze it a little more, and it would chip out, and and the puck, of course, would bounce a lot more, and it was quite a change from the previous year.
The hardware and things of that nature. There hasn't been a Rookie of the Year in a Leaf uniform since.
Brett Selby had a great rookie year, and it's amazing how these things happen, and
Ken Douglas earlier had been a Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, exactly, and
Mahovlich,
and all of a sudden you run into the drought where it doesn't happen. There's always somebody else comes up somewhere else, and even today, I mean, there's many more opportunities, but out of the top picks, not always are the Rookies of the Year. There's the ones that certainly come out of the woodwork that were drafted away down for whatever reason, and all of a sudden they're at the top of the heap. And why is that? I think you got to have a few breaks like in anything else, and you got to play with good teammates, and basically that sort of helps. And you got to have some confidence to be able to do that.
So we're going to fast forward, go 1 year almost to the date, because we're going to fast forward to a game played in October of 1967 and bring you parts of that action. Again, it's opening night at Maple Leaf Gardens, but things have changed. There is expansion, and there is also the situation where the Leafs are celebrating a Stanley Cup. So you're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. We're going to bring you the game from 1967 in October, actually against the Blackhawks, October the 14th. But as we kind of fast forward through classic game history here on Leafs TV, in the interim, the Maple Leafs have won the Stanley Cup in the spring of 1967, but Wayne Carleton wasn't a part of the celebration.
Well, I started the year there and got off to a good start, and I think I was picked to be one of the rookie candidates, and unfortunately, Punch and I didn't get along too well for. I don't know whether
you're not alone on that bus.
I don't know whether it was personality or what, but basically what happened that I got off to a very good start, and in the first two games, and the next thing I know, I find myself sitting on the bench with no explanation or no reason why. And as a youngster, you sort of get a little upset, and I was knowing that I could get upset quite a bit, and I was quite upset. And anyway, I practiced one day, and we were doing all this skating, and I just decided that enough's enough, and I didn't have an agent to look after my side of the story. But anyway, he just said, he gave me an ultimatum. He says, Carleton, either you're going to skate or you're going to get off the ice. And I went off the ice and took off my stuff, and after practice was all over with, I found myself upstairs in the offices, and it wasn't Punch's office, but it was King Clancy, and King and I got along very well, and King gave me the news that I was going to Phoenix,
which was the low totem pole in the structure of the organization.
Which was the low totem pole, and instead of going to Vancouver, Joe Crozier wanted me to go to Vancouver because the previous year before expansion I'd played with the Rochester Americans, and we went to the finals, and I had a very good final, scoring I think 6 of the 7 goals or 5 of the 7 goals, and so I was sort of hoping to go there because I'd known all the guys and Joe Crozier and that. But anyway, they sent me to Phoenix, and the word I got from King was very simply that Mr. Emlock wanted to find out how good I was because we were playing Vancouver 2 games in Phoenix, and of course they were on top of the heap by a large margin, and we were in the bottom. So we went there, and I think the first game we played, we ended up beating them 2-1, and I got both goals. And then we followed the back-to-back game, and I set up the goal that ended up was a tire, and we tied them 1-1. So in the interim after the game, when they interview you, of course, people from Vancouver press are there, and I just made a statement that, without getting into anything, that I guess Mr. Imlach found out how good I was. Well, that
news didn't travel fast then, but it traveled.
Not thinking anything that would come of this, but as it turned out, 2 days later we went to play in Denver. I broke my ankle, and consequently got back to Phoenix, and I was to report back here to Toronto to Mr. Imlach. And that's exactly what happened. I get back here and meet him down here, and him and I have a few friendly words for one another, and one thing led to another, and I got the ankle healed up, and guess what? I was back in Phoenix, and a good bunch of guys in Phoenix. It was going to be a tougher year. Ended up anyway. We played up until I think that I played there the March 2nd, I guess it was, before the deadline, where they could call you up or leave you down, and he brought me here for one power play and moved me on to Rochester.
And that's where you were when they won the Stanley Cup?
And that's where I was when they won the Stanley Cup.
And yet your name is on the roster.
On the roster, and they called up Milan Marcetta from Vancouver, who was on the Stanley Cup, and that's basically how that transpired. But those things do happen, and I guess better to say mum, but I just wasn't that type of individual.
Well, you weren't alone as far as that bus with Imlach was concerned, that's for sure. But we're going to bring you now October 14th, 1967, and the Maple Leafs are getting set for their home opener against the Chicago Blackhawks as defending Stanley Cup champions, because you're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. It is scoreless after a period. We're going to pick up action here on October 14th, 1967, the Leafs' first home game of the 67-68 season, into the second period. And we go upstairs to the gondola, and here's Bill Hewitt.
And for the second period now, the Leafs defend the north end of my left, the Hawks the south end of the right, and it's number 8, Jerry Goyer at center ice. He has Nestorenko on his right, number 15, and Dennis Hull on the left. Jarrett and Palat on the defense. Pappen to Horton. Horton is checked by Goyer. Goyer going in with Dennis Hull. Knocked to the corner. He sent it out. It went by Horton, and it's Pappen after it. Jim Pappen. A long pass for Wayne Carlton, blocked by Palat. Over the line, Goyer was a little late in getting in, and Nestorenko had slipped in ahead of him, nullifying the play. Faceoff comes outside the blue line. The referee, John Ashley, number 2, distinguished from the 2 linesmen by the red armband above his left elbow. Red Shetler is number 20, and Brent Castleman, number 18. There is no score. A long shot, Bauer off the chest, throws it to Stanley, and Stanley turns. To Pappen. Off the boards for Stamkowski. Nestorenko skated him off beautifully. And it's Pierre Palat. Up for Goyer. Palat was hit by Stamkowski. It shot in over the line. Carlton shoots it out again, and Stamkowski couldn't control it. Pierre Palat, a pass to Goyer. Goyer, number 8. Up for Nestorenko. Stopped by Horton. Stamkowski. A pass for Carlton. He's going right in the wall. Right in the goal. He scores! Here's the play developing now, and we'll watch it in slow motion as Stamkowski. Look at Carlton break up the middle. Takes a beautiful pass, and what a play he makes here. There it is, right in front of Dryden. Slips the puck right under the stick and into the net. Wayne Carlton scoring the first goal in the game tonight. 1-0 Toronto.
Scored by number 25, Carlton. Assist number 12, Stamkowski. Time 1:07.
1:07 is the time of the goal by Wayne Carlton from Stamkowski, and it's 1-0 for the Maple Leafs. Hank Mahavlich for Keon. He tips it into the Chicago zone. Stapleton back for it, number 12. Mahavlich keeps it in with Keon. Back to Mahavlich, and Stapleton slid across the goal mouth to block the pass. Martin feeds Warham. Over here for Bobby Hull. Bobby Hull cutting in on the left side. Armstrong got a piece of him. Bobby Hull running on goal. Bauer stopped it. And Armstrong Knocked it off to the boards. A great play by Bobby Hull. Here he is again, centering it. It goes right here to Barat. The shot by Martin. Bauer couldn't control it. Here's Warham getting a chance. Back out over the blue line it goes. Murat has to go back. The Hawks are trying to get out of the lead zone to regroup. Martin comes over the line. Rupp off the boards. Martin cleared it, but he cleared it between Stapleton and Murat out to center ice. Murat to Stapleton to Martin for Bobby Hull. Bobby Hull watched by Mahavlich. Keon gets in front of him. Bobby Hull holds it there for a faceoff.
Let's watch that stop that Johnny Bauer made on Bobby Hull. First, Armstrong tries to check Hull, but brute strength gets Bobby by Armstrong as he goes down. Watch the play in front now. Hull moving in all alone, Bauer going down and making the stop. The puck bounces loose.
Now at center ice for the Maple Leafs, Murray Oliver facing number 18, Paul Terbenci. Terbenci is out there on the forward line with Wayne Mackey and also number 6, Bill Orban. Here's a shot by Orban, and Bauer lost it momentarily, but it was high. Wayne Mackey's pass was tipped by Pulford down the ice. Now was racing after it. Widens out of the net and shot it to the blue line. Pulford and Murray Oliver after it. Pulford right on to Pierre Pilat's stick. Pilat up to the Leaf line. A pass for Terbenci brought in by Jarrett, but that was offside. Terbenci was just one stride ahead of the play. 17:15 remaining in the second period.
And St. Louis leads Pittsburgh 1-0 on a goal by Jim Roberts. 15 seconds into the second period.
All set to go. Oliver back to Stanley to Horton. Up for Murray Oliver. And Stanley to Pulford. Pulford flicks it in. Riding out of the net. Clips it with a stick. Left it there. Murray Oliver moved in very quickly. Doug Jarrett then along the boards. Tipped by Mackey, but not out. Horton shot it high and wide. Pulford gets a chance from the left wing, a shot. Palat and Murray Oliver with the boatman going down. And that's where play ends with Pierre Palat sitting on the puck. On the face-off, the puck went up the center ice. Ryan Conacher clearing it back into the Chicago zone. Terbenci back for it, number 18, watched by Walton. It's Walton trying to center it. It came right in front, and Conacher missed it with a backhand. Hadley centered it out in front. Walton gets a hold of it, and Dryden made the save on that shot. Conacher races after it. Palat trying to get it out. The puck is at the blue line, kept in by Mahavlich. Palat took a run at him. It's kept in by Pronovo. Here's Mahavlich for Conacher, who's standing in front. And it's cleared by Wayne Mackey to Terbenci, who gets it up to center ice. Rupp took a grab at Terbenci with his hand. He's going to get a holding penalty. Dwayne Rupp is going to the penalty box for the Leafs. That'll be holding. Referee John Ashley was right beside him when he grabbed the Chicago player's arm.
Toronto penalty to number 4, Rupp. 2 minutes for holding. The time 4:03.
4:03, a holding penalty. This gives the Hawks the man advantage for the fourth time tonight. Here's the score. Toronto Maple Leafs 1. Chicago Blackhawks nothing. Wayne Carlton from Peter Stemkowski at 1:07 of this second period. At the 4:03 mark. As play starts, Bobby Hull got it off the glass into the Leaf zone. Nesterenko hit by Horton. It's played back to Bobby Hull. Here's his shot. Bauer kicked that one out. Keon back to Stanley. Shot it down the ice. He's Dryden out of the nets to Stapleton, number 12. Jerry Goyer is number 8 with Bobby Hull. Bobby Hull into Stapleton. Up he comes to center. Over the line for Nesterenko. Way too far, and Bauer cleared it to the blue line. It's offside. Just by the width of the puck. 15:18 remaining in this second period. 1-0 for the Maple Leafs. They're shorthanded, playing 6 men to 5. Jerry Goyer. Number 8 at center ice. Dennis Hull is 10 on the left wing. Eric Nesterenko on the right. Bobby Hull and Pat Stapleton. Long shot. Bauer to Horton. Armstrong with him. Keon was in front as Armstrong shot it down the ice, acting as a decoy. Bobby Hull back for it. Hull to Nestorenko. Back to Hull, number 9. Here he comes. There's 4 of them over here on the left side. It's Dennis Hull who cuts the center. Bobby Hull tried to stick handle through. It's offside. And now a face-off outside the blue line.
There's Johnny Bauer, Bill, and he says he'd like to play 45 to 50 games this year. I don't know whether Punch is going to get that much mileage out of him. A fellow starting his 23rd season. He experimented with the face mask in some of the preseason games and then discarded it. Some of the boys say that John's only going to wear it during the television interviews.
All set to go. Ellis knocked it right on the Palat's stick. Palat over to Bobby Hull. Here comes the shot, and that's going over the glass. I believe you were saying that Johnny Bauer was very sharp during practice yesterday.
Yes, he was, and of course the famous story about him in training camp was the time that Punch and Joe Crozier painted his car about 18 different colors. He paid them $50 to get it painted. It cost them $150 to get it repainted the way it was in the beginning.
On the face-off, Palat then gives it to Bobby Hull, and he handed it right to Conacher, who backhands it down the ice. Palat goes back. 14:33 remaining in the second period. 1-0 the score in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Palat leading a 3-man rush over for Bobby Hull, trying to go around over the body check, and Bobby Hull went down. Ellis fails to get out. Martin gets it back to Pierre Palat. Here comes the screen shot. Bauer stopped it. Another shot, and Bauer somehow came up with it.
Well, there's Johnny Bauer, and the puck just outside the crease. Now watch Bobby Hull, who gets up very slowly in front of Bauer. Keep your eye on him, because here's the shot from Palat. Hull gets a skate on it. You can see the puck. There is an opening, and Pitt Martin moves in, but he couldn't get it by John Bauer, who, of course, went down to block it, even though Hull and Alan Stanley were in front.
Now, certainly the Hawks have been knocking at the door, Brian, throughout this entire hockey game. But they haven't been able to beat one Johnny Bauer. On the face-off, it comes back for Palat. A shot stopped by Bauer. He shoots it down the ice himself. Dwayne Rupp has 5 seconds, 4 remaining in his penalty. He's standing at the gate now. Penalty box directly below us, and he's on the ice. There he comes. Leafs are at full strength. Bobby Hull. Watched by Keon. Keon took it away from him. Keon over the line, closes in with a shot, and Dryden caught that. And this Dave Dryden is very alert with his left hand.
Well, he certainly looks sharp out there tonight. Dennis DeJordy may have a little trouble regaining that number 1 position.
Well, he's also like a 6th forward. He plays half the game behind the net and gets out there to feed the puck to his defenseman. We have 13:39 remaining in the second period. Rupp hit Wayne Mackey with a shot. Trubetsky coming up at center ice with a pass. Knocked over the line, and Mackey's offside. Toronto Maple Leafs lead 1-0. Wayne Carlton from Peter Stemkowski at 1:07 of the second period. There was no scoring in the first. As the Leafs outshot Chicago 10-9, there were 6 penalties in the first period, 3 apiece. And 1 penalty so far in the second. That's to the Maple Leafs. Dwayne Rupp. Marat clearing the puck up to center ice. Carlton to Stemkowski. He flips it over the line for Pappen. Pappen back to Carlton. To Rupp. Rupp lets his shot go. Carlton trying to steal it. Here's Stemkowski after it. Carlton fights for it too. Comes up with it. Gets it into the corner. Pappen centered it. Comes back to Marcel Pronovo. There's his shot. Another try. Hits Marat twice. Carlton shot it around behind the net. That's Stapleton. Just a heavy check from Stemkowski. Just saw him at the last second. It goes out over the blue line, and Dwayne Rupp feeds Marcel Pronovo. Up to Stemkowski for Wayne Carlton, going in with Pappen. There's the shot. Pappen is knocked into the net. Rupp knocked it out over the blue line, and Marcel Pronovo tries to play it safe. feeds Papin. It's tipped over the line for Walton. Walton takes his shot, and there's Dryden's left hand again, picking that one out of the air. This game is coming here from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
It's 5-0, Montreal over Detroit. Jill
Here's the
Stromberg.
second try to score! Conacher standing in front, put it in the net.
And it would happen while we're giving the out-of-town score, but here's the face-off. The Leafs click right from the draw. There it is, the shot in front, and Conacher with the tip in, up into the net. And he's missed 2 other goals tonight, so finally he connects.
And they face
Toronto
off.
goal scored by
scoring
number
play.
22, Conacher. Assist, number 27, Mahavlich, and number 16, Walton. The time, 7:37.
7:37 is the time of that goal. Conacher from Mahavlich and Walton. Puck is back in the Chicago zone, and it's Pierre Palat. A pass intended for number 8, Goyer. Then Dennis Hull feeds Goyer. Finally, Walton failed to check him. Goyer over the line, still has it. He's been a stick handling by the Chicago center. Nesterenko moves up. He centered it. Knocked by Stanley's glove. Play will be called as the action was directed ahead by Alan Stanley's glove, and we'll have a face-off in the circle to the right of Johnny Bauer.
There's the score, Toronto 2, Chicago no score. And we mentioned it was 5-0, Montreal leading Detroit as Gilles Tremblay from Cournoyer scored the 5th Montreal goal, and that's 3 points now for Ivan Cournoyer.
11:36 remaining in the second period. And they face off, knocked into the corner. The Chicago player, number 8, Gary Goyer, back to Jarrett. He hit Ellis. Ellis comes back down the ice with Fulford. Took his shot wide. Fulford lets one go, that's wide. Murray Oliver after it, and Fulford centered it, right and directs it to Nesterenko. With Goyer. Goyer at center ice. Donovo covered him. Nesterenko for Dennis Hull. Bob Fulford off the boards. Murray Oliver to Fulford. Ellis is loose on the right side. He's in goal.
And it's 3-0. Watch Fulford send the pass over. Ellis has to fight the puck, but he's able to come up with it. And there's the shot as Dryden fails to get over fast enough to block that hard shot off the stick of Ron Ellis. He had to fight the puck all the way in from the blue line. Did a wonderful job.
Toronto goal scored by number 8, Ellis. Assist, number 20, Fulford. The time, 9:05.
9:05, Ellis from Fulford, and it's 3-0 for the Maple Leafs. Marat for Warham. Back to Marat, number 2, ahead to Pat Staple in 12. Up for Pitt Martin. He's over the line. Here's Warham right in front of the net. Oh, Howard. Murray Oliver with Ellis, who takes the pass, but he's offside. And the faceoff comes outside the blue line.
Well, Pitt Martin, who came from Boston, made a fine play here with Warham breaking into the clear. Now watch the pass go over to Warham, but Bauer makes a sensational stop off the fast right winger of the Blackhawks. There it is, Warham right in front, Bauer going down to make the save.
Toronto Maple Leafs 3, Chicago Blackhawks nothing. 10:25 remaining in the second period. Gil Marat up for Kenny Warham. And Horton is there to intercept. Horton off Armstrong, down the ice, stapled in at his own blue line, up to Marat. Marat ahead to Warham, Warham for Martin, Martin over the line, Bobby Hull cruising there, gets a hold of it. Went too far, Stanley covers Hull. It comes back, over the blue line, and Stanley and Bobby Hull are fencing a little bit. Warham pass right on Armstrong's stick. Keon over the line. Back to Armstrong. He took his shot. Right and stopped it, and Stapleton has it. Stapleton launched by Keon. Stapleton right in front of his own net. To Mike. Corey Warren intercepted by Mahavlich. Mahavlich overskates it, and Bobby Hull comes up with it. Covered by Armstrong, the Stapleton over to Marat. Warren on his right. Stopped by Horton. Horton just gets it out over the blue line, and it's Warren turning to Bobby Hull. Right on to Mahavlich. To Keon, back to Mahavlich. Mahavlich going around Stapleton, right and stop. Oh, and Dryden got that shot right on his skate. What a save by Dryden.
Oh, and a typical move by Mahavlich. What a shift. Watch it now as Mahavlich gets that puck. Watch him go around Stapleton. Stapleton goes down. Mahavlich pulls the puck through. He has the opening, but Dryden gets his skate on it right there. And Mahavlich goes crashing into the boards.
Toronto Maple Leafs 3, the Chicago Blackhawks nothing. 9:01 remaining in the second period. Here's a chance for Pappin shot. Now for Rupp. He cleared it into the corner. Shot by Jarrett down the ice. Off Rupp, so it won't be icing. Marcel Pronovo back for it. Carlton ran into number 6, Bill Orban. Kept in by the Blackhawks. Number 19, Doug Shelton, out for the first time in the game. Cervenci and Orban are the other two forwards. Stamkowski ahead for Carlton. The Hawks Palat to Shelton and knocked out over the line. Number 6, Bill Orban. He's checked. Happens on a break. Going over the line, closing in, shoots! And that was stopped by Dryden. There's going to be a penalty here to the Blackhawks. Number 19, Doug Shelton.
Chicago penalty to number 19, Shelton. 2 minutes for holding. The time 11:49.
St. Louis leading Pittsburgh 2-0. Crisp from Stewart at 19:04 of the second period.
Leafs have a man advantage. Murray Oliver to Ellis. Closing in, a pass to Punker. Left covered the Chicago player Bill Orban as he tried to break away. The Leafs have the man advantage, 6 men to 5. Pappin is the fourth forward. Pass to Pulford off the left side. Back to Rupp. Rupp for Murray Oliver. Oliver goes in after it. Dryden came way out of his net. He's been doing this all night and cleared it down the ice. Jim Pappin leading a 4-man rush. Over for Pulford. Tipping it over the line, and Pierre Palat shoots it out again. Pappin to Rupp. Rupp leading a 4-man rush. Here's Ellis on the right side. Trying to go around Orban, who took him out neatly. Ellis then to Pulford. Right in front of Oliver.
Well, the Leafs are having a big second period now. Here's the play developing. The man to watch is Murray Oliver, who gets loose in front of Dave Dryden. Pulford and Ellis battling for the puck in the corner. It comes loose. Now there's Oliver all alone, and he really picks the corner on that one. No hesitation. Murray Oliver scores his first goal as a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Toronto goal scored by number 11, Oliver. Assist number 20, Pulford, and number 8, Ellis. The time 12:38.
12:38. 4-0. Oliver from Pulford and Ellis. That was scored with Shelton in the penalty box. Horton shot it into the Chicago zone. Nesterenko covered by Mahavlich. Marat gets it ahead of Keon. Goyer going down with Nesterenko over the line. Stanley tipped it into the seats. Just dropped by the box seats on the east side of Maple Leaf Gardens. So it's been Wayne Carlton, Brian Conacher, Ron Ellis, and Murray Oliver, the goal scorers in the second period after a scoreless first. Maple Leafs leading 4-0. Stanley back for Horton. To Armstrong, and that was deflected back of the penalty bench.
You might notice the United Appeal insignia at center ice tonight, Bill. A reminder that the public is invited to United Appeal Day at Maple Leaf Gardens on Friday, October the 27th.
On the face-off, a pass for Armstrong to Mahovlich on the left side. He's closing in. There's the shot. Oh, he hit the post. The red light went on again, but there's no goal on that one. That one hit the post and came straight out.
I will take a look at it. That's twice tonight that the post has been hit by a Leaf. First Conacher, now Mahovlich with that wicked shot of his. There it is. Off the post. You can see it rebound right out through Dryden's legs, and he scrambles to catch a hold of it.
That's certainly a marvelous sight to see that.
The goal was disallowed as the puck did not enter the net.
All set to go. It comes back to Stanley. A backhand right in front of the net. Pat Stapleton clears it. Goyer, a pass for Nestorenko. Stanley got a piece of it. Goyer moves up, keeps it in by knocking it to the corner. And Stanley then feeds Horton up here to Armstrong. Too hard. Stapleton then for Dennis Hull. For Nestorenko, he's closing in. There's his shot. Oh, and Johnny Bauer did the flip and knocked it in. The play has been called, and there's no goal as Bauer came rushing out of the net.
Well, there's no question about that. The whistle had been blown, and here's Nestorenko, who really had a good snap shot. Bauer came out to make sure that the official wasn't going to allow the goal, and as Mike Walton says, he doesn't like to have the players even fish them out of the net in practice. He doesn't want anything going in that net.
And Brian, I think we're going to have more announcements from the public address system about non-goal. And that one definitely came after the whistle. That's Darryl Sly, number 21, out for the first time in the game for the Maple Leafs. He's playing out there with Ryan Conacher's now been moved over to the left wing, and of course Mike Walton at center. Bobby Hull. Watched by Walton. Pierre Pilote. Waiting for Bobby Hull. Pierre Pilote starts up with a pass for Pitt Martin. To Bobby Hull. Over the line with Warham. Warham's pass was tipped to center. Walton reaches after it. He missed it. And Darryl Sly gets a hold. The play is going to be called here. Jarrett pucked Walton. And so there's a penalty to the Chicago Blackhawks. Jarrett picks up number 3.
He has that look on his face as if to say, you must be kidding.
Time of the penalty, 14:41. 5:19 left. In this second period, Toronto Maple Leafs lead 4-0.
It's 5-1. Montreal over Detroit, and the big fella, number 9, Gordie Howe, scored at 15:17 of the second period. Jarrett and Delvecchio assisting.
Wayne Mackey, along with Bill Orban, out there for the Hawks, along with Pat Stapleton and Joe Murat. Now here's a chance for Walton, a shot. It goes wide. Walton after it. Stapleton had him covered. It's cleared. Pass Rupp. He got a piece of it with his stick, but not enough, and he goes back to his own blue line. Rupp coming up to center. His pass nowhere near Mahovlich, and the Leafs go back into their own zone. Jim Pappan, number 18. Keon let it go. Jim Pappan still has it. Now he feeds Keon, who's in full stride at center. Keon over the line, and he's stuck by Stapleton and cleared down the ice by Wayne Mackey. Wayne Rupp to Jim Pappan. Jim Pappan will organize the rush again. Ahead for Mahovlich, stopped by Orban, and that goes back into the lead zone. Leafs having trouble getting going. Here's a chance for the Hawks. And now then, Rupp will try it again with Walton. Pappan shot it in off the boards. Orban cleared it, but not out. Mahovlich passes back, and Stanley had just come on the ice as the Leafs were changing their defense. Frank Mahovlich over the line. And it's offside at the blue line. Ellis Fulford, Stanley, and Horton. They're over the line. Stanley shot one across the goal mouth. Ellis, the rebound off the board, still has it. Gives it to Murray Oliver. Oliver back to Horton. Horton took his shot. That hit Stapleton on the ankle. Right to Ellis. He fanned on it. And Stapleton shot it down the ice. Now to Maple Leafs 4, Chicago Blackhawks nothing. Murray Oliver now coming up. At center. For Fulford over the line. Murray Oliver moves up. Try to tip it for Fulford. And it's cleared out to Jarrett at center offside. He was on the Leaf side of the checkered line at center. 3 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the second period. 4-0 for the Maple Leafs. Wayne Carlton, Conacher, Ellis, and Oliver have been the goal scorers.
There's the score, St. Louis 2, Pittsburgh nothing at the end of the second period.
On the faceoff, Stanley has shot, hit Fulford. Stanley goes back and covers up, then feeds Fulford again. Fulford a pass for Oliver. Pierre Palat having difficulty with a bouncing puck. Got up, though, by number 8, Jerry Goyer. For Nesterenko, Stanley got a piece of him, and Horton flipped it to the blue line and out. Goyer back to Palat for Dennis Hall. And stopped by Horton, who fell, but in falling, he got it ahead to Murray Oliver. Oliver over the line. Took his shot. It goes to the corner. Back up towards the blue line. Stanley feeds Ellis. Right in front for Oliver. The shot. It's Fulford. Murray Oliver again. Back to Fulford. Out for Ellis. Here's Murray Oliver's shot. And that one was stopped by Dwight from point-blank range. Back for Nesterenko. Horton stopped him. Stanley covers up. Goyer centering it for Dennis Hall. And Horton gets it down the ice past Jarrett. Jarrett ahead for Dennis Hall. Stemkowski stepped into him. There's going to be a penalty to the Maple Leafs. Stemkowski an elbow. Peter Stemkowski of the Leafs elbowing.
Toronto penalty to number 12, Stemkowski. 2 minutes for elbowing. The time, 18:04.
This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. 1 minute and 56 seconds remaining to play in the second period. 4-0 for the Maple Leafs. Chicago Blackhawks with a man advantage, playing 6 men to 5. And they face off into the crowd.
Montreal leading Detroit 2 now, Bill, as Prentice has scored from Young and Hampson for the Red Wings at 18:37 of the second period.
And they face off here. It's cleared out to center ice where Bobby Hull feeds the pass for Warham. Knocked it in. Bauer stopped it. Dwayne Rupp clearing it around on the boards. Pierre Palat had moved up. Gives it to Pitt Martin. Martin to Palat. To Bobby Hull. Here comes the shot. Bauer's got it on his pad. A direct drive by Bobby Hull.
Well, here it is. It's like McCarver catching one of Gibson's in there, the way he had to juggle that for just a moment. Here's Johnny making a good stop, watching the puck fall down just above his pads, then grabbing it.
And they face off. Back to Palat. Palat moves up. Stops. Back to Warham. Warham shot. A shot by Wayne Mackey was just wide of the corner. It goes down the ice. Bobby Hull going back for it. To Wayne Mackey. Stopped by Keon. Marcel Konoval shooting it off the board. Bobby Hull is back now for the Hawks. Bobby Hull up over his own blue line to center.
Play in this period.
Conacher's given a ride along the boards, falls, and he's determined to hold it there, although Wayne Mackey was trying hard to get it away. But he held it there for a face-off. 53 seconds remaining in the second period. Out of 4, Chicago nothing. The Hawks have number 8, Jerry Goyer. Number 15, Eric Nestorenko. Dennis Hull is 10, Bobby Hull 9, Pierre Palat. Back to Bobby Hull, hopped over his stick, and then has to go back. Bobby Hull. Behind Nestorenko, gets it again. To Palat. At center. Over the line. Goyer. Passed it back, but Palat wasn't there. Palat at center ice, waiting for Nestorenko to get onside. Stopped by Horton this time. Nestorenko turns again with 20 seconds left. A pass for Dennis Hull. It goes to Johnny Bauer. He fails to get it out. Goyer shot. Bauer's got it, and he holds it for a faceoff. When they face off, Horton got it into the crowd. Talking to Bobby Hull on Friday, he was mentioning that you can't do it yourself. It's a team effort, and you have to have the whole team healthy. And that's certainly the way the Leafs have been able to handle Bobby Hull so far.
There was a lady hurt by a flying puck down in the front row of the Redsville. That's the reason for the delay now, as the constables have moved in to render assistance and lead her to the first aid room. Now the Leafs are making a change. Talking with Bobby yesterday, or rather Bobby Hull's mother, she was telling me that when he first went to play hockey in St. Catharines, a little boy walked up in front of the dressing room, and Bobby walked by him, and she said, "Now, Robert, you go back and say hello to that boy. And when somebody wants your autograph, you be sure and sign it." And he said, "Well, Mom, who would ever want my autograph?" And she said, "Someday you might get in the NHL, and you might be asked for it, and I want you to promise me that you'll always sign." That's why he signs about 5,000 a day now.
From the face-off, Armstrong shot the puck down the ice. Demkowski will be in the penalty box to start the final period. And there goes the bell to end the second period. And the score at the end of the second period, Toronto Maple Leafs 4, the Chicago Blackhawks nothing.
Well, the Leafs, defending Stanley Cup champions, in against a team that finished first overall the previous year, and the Leafs have a 4-0 lead over the Chicago Blackhawks as Wayne Carlton, Brian Conacher, Ron Ellison, Murray Oliver have scored in the first period. And you swooped around Pierre Palat like a hoop around a barrel there.
Yeah,
coin a phrase.
That was, I was coming up the left side, and I had quite a head of steam on, and Stemmer passed the puck across perfect, and yeah, I blew by him. And
now you played center mostly in junior, and a lot of situations developed because of a sight problem.
Yeah, I mean, not unbeknownst to me, I mean, back then, and even as much as up until 5 years ago, till I actually went and had my right eye checked out further. We'd had it checked before, and other than there was astigmatism, and there was nothing they could do back then. We tried the contact lenses, and nothing, because of the curvature of the lens, would ever sit there. It would be all, there'd be in one side of my eye, it'd be out. And so I just never bothered, you know, I said, well, we'll just have to live with it. And then I had the laser surgery, and it brought my, I had 20/80 vision in my right eye, which wasn't real good. And fortunately enough, my left eye was very, very strong, was 20/20. So I see most of the stuff from there. But there was obviously a depth perception problem, as I found out since getting more research on what was wrong with my eye. And when they done the laser surgery and brought my eye back to almost again 20/20, it really made a big difference in depth perception. Not even when I golf or play an old-timer hockey, it was a tremendous difference. And I had a lot of times I had trouble playing left wing and picking up pucks.
Now, and back then there really wasn't an awful lot of players who would be, say, a left-handed shot playing right wing.
That's right.
It was, you're a left-handed shot,
yep,
you're a left winger,
yep,
you're a right-handed shot, you're a right winger, and never the twain shall meet.
That's exactly right. And my position that I liked best was center. For me, then I could, you know, I could compensate, because instead of going to my left, I could make the turns to my right, and obviously, you know, pick up things that I couldn't pick up turning the other way to my
Now, this is the first goal of the expansion history of the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's I don't know if you still have this puck or not, but
I don't think I have that one. I know I have the other one. I don't think I have that one.
but what was it like now? There's all these new teams in the league. It had to be different.
Well, for me, a lot of guys I had played against the previous year, being sent down to in the Western League, which was a pretty good league. The previous year, I'd spent some time in the American League, so I had seen these guys play, and they had moved up to the National Hockey League. I think in this game here, basically, you know, you're looking at guys like Jerry Goyer and guys that had played in the American League.
Sure.
He was in the Western League,
yep,
and getting a chance. So, as I said, that helped everybody to a certain, and give the younger guys, especially in Toronto, an opportunity to move into the lineup, which we were unable to crack because of all the wily veterans, and Punch was definitely a veteran guy and believed that he would only bring in one player maybe in the next over 2 or 3 years.
Because the Leafs in expansion have lost Terry Sawchuk, Bob Bond, Kent Douglas, Britt Selby, Larry Kelly, Larry Jeffrey, Eddie Shack, Larry Hillman, who is still sitting out with the salary dispute. But so you're right, a lot of the kids are getting an opportunity.
And that was probably the good thing for Toronto. Unfortunately, you know, I mean, they did win the Stanley Cup the previous year, which you can't knock that. I mean, that was obviously the right. But for the younger guys coming up out of the organization, it gives them an opportunity now to be able to play in Toronto, where before they never had that opportunity.
So the Maple Leafs have a 4-0 lead after the second period of the game to open the home season at Maple Leaf Gardens as defending Stanley Cup champions. You're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. The Leafs with a 4-0 lead over the Chicago Blackhawks. You're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
And then Stamkowski is on the ice. Stamkowski over the blue line, closing in. His shot right in front, happened over his stick. Back by Warham. Over the blue line. Horton is there. Horton flips it out over the line. Marat hit by Stamkowski and knocked down. Bobby Hull shot, that was wide. Wayne Carlton gets it out over the blue line. The ice is very fast, despite the fact that it's quite warm here in the Gardens tonight. Stamkowski off the boards. Bobby Hull keeps it in. Bobby Hull trying to center it. He did right on the Stamkowski stick. Down he goes with Pappen, number 18. Back to Stamkowski to Pappen. Stapleton stops it and gets it up for Bobby Hull too far. Stanley turns. Here's Stamkowski, a long shot, deflected by Dryden, off the glass to Bobby Hull. Over to Gilmorat. Carlton bumped into him, and Lace Armstrong was caught with a high stick, talking to Bobby Hull. Certainly accidental. Armstrong skates off the ice. Stamkowski is leaving, and so is Carlton, and Keon comes out with Conacher and Mahavlich as Armstrong leaves the ice. Here's Bobby Hull over the blue line. Goes to the corner, and it's Keon, number 14. Warham moves in. Pronovo and Bobby Hull bump together. And certainly, Brian, Bobby Hull is throwing his weight around a lot more tonight.
Yes, he caught Armstrong with a stick and showed some concern for George Armstrong's condition before Army skated off, but there's Army at the Leaf bench. He's not, apparently, well, obviously not going to the dressing room.
And no question that it wasn't accidental, because Bobby Hull didn't even see Armstrong going by him. Keon with Mahavlich and Conacher. Hoyer is at center ice now with Dennis Hull and Nestorenko. Here comes Keon, a long shot off the boards. Mahavlich went after it. Dryden tipped it. Keon picks it up. Sent it with a backhand, and it's Palat to Nestorenko up to Dennis Hull, number 10. He stopped by Dwayne Rupp. Jarrett away from Keon to Dennis Hull. Rupp then feeds Conacher. Over the line to Keon for Mahavlich. Dryden stopped it right on the goal mouth and holds it there for a face-off. Jarrett around on the boards. Murray Oliver has it. Oliver keeping it in with Pulford. Tried to get it to Ellis. It comes back to Stanley. There's his shot. It's right in front of the net. It goes off to the side. Goyer to Jarrett. Jarrett's pass for Nestorenko out over the line. He didn't expect it to go in front of him, and the Leafs just cleared back. Now then, Jarrett feeds Palat. Palat for Nestorenko. It's going down the ice. It hit the Leaf player on the way through, so play will go right on. And it's Alan Stanley coming up. A pass for Murray Oliver. Going down with Pulford. One man back for Pulford, and it was too far, and Nestorenko got back quickly to cover up. Dennis Hull to Jarrett ahead to Goyer. Goyer just shoots it in the Leaf zone, and Pulford goes back for it. Pulford for Stanley. And to Ellis. Dennis Hull was there. Dennis Hull flipping it up the center ice, nowhere near Goyer, and it's Horton for Pulford. Pulford takes a long shot into the corner. It goes around on the boards. Ellis after it. Nestorenko got a piece of Ellis. Jarrett to Palat, stopped by Oliver. Now it's Palat again. A pass ahead to Dennis Hull over here to Nestorenko. Nestorenko comes up over the line and scores. Goyer gets through, but he couldn't get a direct shot. Ellis for Pulford. Pulford just gets it out. The Leafs are tiring. Murray Oliver goes after it. Pat Staple into Dennis Hull. For Goyer with Nestorenko, a shot, and that was just off the target. Murray Oliver flipping it up for Jim Pappen, and he couldn't get away. Nestorenko is all over the ice, so they can check, and it's cleared back into the Leaf zone. Around for Pulford. Pulford to Stemkowski. He shoots it in. Pappen races after it. Staple in the first man in to Wayne Mackey. He gets it ahead to Terbenci. Terbenci up over the blue line. Gets his shot, and Power stopped that. Kept in by Orban. Stemkowski overskates it to Wayne Carlton. Carlton falls. It's underneath him. It goes loose, and they finally jam against the board, and it's held for a face-off. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. 15 minutes, 16 seconds left to play in the game. Leafs lead 4-0. Stemkowski to Pronovo. Back to Stemkowski at his own blue line. Up at center, a long shot that bounces wide in the corner. Pappen tried to center it. Wayne Mackey is hit by Stemkowski. Pat Stapleton to Mackey. Pappen covers him, gets it back for Rupp, but it's tipped out over the line by number 5, Jeffrey Powis. Tipped back into the Hawk zone. Pappen is checked by Joe Murat. Over to Wayne Mackey, going up with Powis at center, was behind him. Picked up by Orban on the right wing, and his pass went down to Wayne Carlton. Carlton down the left wing. Over the line with Pappen. Carlton still has it as Pappen goes right into the net. Way it's called is going to be a penalty here for dumping Pappen into the net. Joe Murat, number 2, will get the gate. 5:38 interference to Murat. Leafs have a man advantage, 6 men to 5. Keon at center ice, Mahovlich on the left wing, Walton on the right, Horton and Rupp. Knocked down the ice. This Bill Orban getting a lot of work for the Blackhawks tonight, and out there for the second time, Doug Shelton, number 19. Keon up the center with Walton and Mahovlich. Cleared in around. Dryden stopped it. Dryden lost it. Walton tried to center it. Gets up with a shot. Another try, and a try. 3 tries for Walton. Keon behind the net. Into the corner. Back to Rupp. Over for Horton off the boards. He took his shot. It's right in front of the net. Played back to the blue line and out. Rupp off the boards for Frank Mahovlich, number 27. Mahovlich to Rupp. To Keon. Back to Walton. Walton closes in with a shot. Mahovlich tried to get that rebound. Keon then to Rupp. For Mahovlich. to Keon, and Pierre Palat was there, number 3. Palat trying to get away. Urban finally shoots it down the ice for the Blackhawks. 13-12 remaining in the game as Rupp is back in his own zone. 45 seconds left in the penalty to Marat. Jim Pappen down the left wing at center. With Mahamlet offside. On the face-off, Horton over for Ellis. Ellis gets set. There's the drive. A great save. The rebound. And Murray Oliver inside and grabs that one out of the air. He's driving with that fantastic left hand of his. As it was going over his head, he grabbed it.
Well, he hasn't had much protection in this in the second period and again in the third. And there's the shot. Now watch the puck come out. And up goes the arm. Right in the air, and a beautiful shot there on your screen of Dryden making that fine catch.
Face off in the Chicago zone to the left. Wayne Mackey. Along with Bill Orban, Pierre Palat, Doug Jarrett. Jarrett off the boards. Horton stops it for Ellis. Ellis is jammed against the board. Kicks it loose for Murray Oliver. Orban holds it and makes sure with his skates. 12:39 remaining in the game. Toronto Maple Leafs are leading 4-0. Wayne Carlton, Brian Conacher, Ron Ellis, and Murray Oliver have been the goal scorers so far. Here's a chance for Stanley, a shot. Hooker back to Horton. Horton into Oliver. Back to Ellis. Right in front for Pulford. Pulford gets the second try, and Pierre Palat covered him. Now back on the ice is Joe Marat. So the Hawks are back at full strength as they move into the Leaf zone, and Ellis waits. Wayne Mackey is trying to check him. Horton coming out, a long pass for Pulford, and he just tips it right to Nestorenko, number 15. Nestorenko waiting for his teammates to get on the ice as they were changing. Murray Oliver nearly set Pulford up as the Hawks were loose coming out of their own zone. It's shot to center ice. Horton for Murray Oliver. He just shoots it into the Chicago zone, and Dryden leaves it there for Marat. Pulford covers him. Oliver moves up, steals the puck. Back to Stanley. Stanley shot it off the boards. It goes into the corner to Pulford. Pulford centered it, but it goes behind Murray Oliver. Nestorenko to Deno. Over the line for Goyer. Goyer's taken out of the play by Pulford. Stapleton kept it in. Horton gets it out over the blue line, and it's Dennis Hull getting it back to Marat. Marat, a long shot. Horton knocked that down with his glove. Murray Oliver to Wayne Carlton, and he tipped it right to Stapleton. Stapleton over here to Marat. Up with Goyer. Stopped by Horton. The Leafs content to check at the moment. Stankowski in his own zone. Pulls away from Goyer. Goyer gets back to cover him as Stankowski stops. Goyer now with a pass to Stapleton. Stapleton over the line for Dennis Hull. Broken up by Jim Pappen, and he just shoots it down the ice. Good indication the ice is pretty fast as he just hardly backhanded it, but it's icing called against the Maple Leafs. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. And just received from the official score that Oliver gets the credit for an assist on Ellis's goal at 9:05. Oliver then scored at 12:38. 10:30 remaining in the game. There's the score. Toronto 4, Chicago nothing. A pass for Carlton. He just tips it out. Pappen races after it, but Jarrett is there. Jarrett to Pierre Palat right in the goal crease. Dryden didn't know whether to take it himself, but he left it for Palat. Then Warham can't get anywhere. Bobby Hull is out there along with Pitt Martin. Jarrett, a pass for Warham offside. And Brian, the tempo of the game has certainly slowed down a little bit.
Well, this isn't the same Chicago team we saw in action last year, Bill. Of course, those missing players make all the difference in the world, but if they're out for any length of time, Chicago could be well down in the standings before too long.
Jarrett, a pass for Pitt Martin, covered by Rupp. Warham stopped by Marcel Tonovo. Stepkowski is loose on the right wing, but Pronovo content on clearing along the boards. Wayne Carlton failed to get loose. Pronovo shoots it into the Chicago zone, and Dryden is out of the net again for a skate, leaving it there for Jarrett to Bobby Hull. Bobby Hull stopped by Papin, picked it up again. Bobby Hull up to center. Stopped, and Stankowski comes back. Got it right on the Warham stick. Warham ahead for Pitt Martin. He's covered. Pronovo then gets it up and down the ice. Wayne Carlton races after it. It's called, and on the offside from one zone to the other, so they'll face off from inside the Maple Leaf blue line. Right?
There goes Wayne Carlton off, and the size of these Leaf forwards is really going to shake up the opposition. Stemkowski just leveled Warham with a check. Carlton is 6'3", 212, and he ranks with Howe and Hull and Horton, say, as perhaps four of the strongest fellas in the National Hockey League.
Coming out now for the Chicago Blackhawks, number 18, Paul Zerbenchi. Bill Orban is on the right wing, and Wayne Mackey on the left. A pass for Keon, knocked out by Marat to center ice. Horton moves up with a long shot, tries to steer that off to the side. Keon after it. Marat has him covered. Mahavlich picks the loose puck up. Handed it right to Mackey. Mahavlich races back. Orban with Mackey and Trebenci clear the puck into the Leaf zone, and it's Stanley. Up to Mahavlich and Conacher. Back to Mahavlich. Mahavlich back for Conacher, and it's broken up by Wayne Mackey. To Trebenci at center. Up over the Leaf line. Stanley breaks it up to Mahavlich. A pass for Keon as Marat stepped into Mahavlich and knocked him down. Horton for Mahavlich, intercepted by Orban. Conacher ran into Orban, then Mackey and Horton. Mackey shoved by Horton, and Orban covered by Stanley as they start to hammer one another. Wayne Mackey. A pass over to Stapleton. Stapleton in his own blue line up here to Marat. Marat ahead to Orban, stopped by Stanley, and Keon gets it, but couldn't break away. Dennis Hull tried to go through, and Horton stepped into him. Stanley up to Mahavlich for Keon. Offside, Ron Ellis on the right wing.
Well, certainly Dennis Hull, and preceding that, Wayne Mackey found out how rugged Horton is along that blue line. Mackey, particularly as a rookie, will find that out in short order. It's like a poodle trying to knock down a fire plug out there.
Well, he certainly ran into a brick wall. 7:49 remaining in the game. Toronto Maple Leafs leading the Blackhawks 4-0. Here's a chance for Nestorenko. He gets partially into the clear, but Popper got there to cover up. Oliver fails to get it out. Doug Jarrett, the screen shot is wide. Nestorenko tries to center it. Dennis Hull with it. He falls. Gets it in front. Wayne Rupp. Out over the line. Jarrett brought it in outside. Blackhawks playing it, trying to come back on again.
Well, they look like a badly beaten hockey club at this stage. They've shown some spurts, and there's the score 4-0, and the question now with 7:23 remaining, can Johnny Bauer hang in there and the Leafs give him the protection he needs to start off the year with a shutout?
Walton is given a jolt from Jarrett. Marcel Pronovo for Bob Pulford to Mike Walton. Goes back to Pronovo. Marcel Pronovo. For Walton. Offside. 7 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the game. Leafs lead 4-0. On they face off. Walton sees Ellis. He's going right in. He's hooked from behind. And there's going to be a penalty to Dennis Hull for hooking Ellis as he went to get set with a shot. That'll give the Leafs the man advantage, 6-5. A hooking penalty to Dennis Hull. Leafs send Murray Oliver at center, Pulford and Ellis on the wing. Walton and Tappan both back at the blue line. Here's back to Walton. Walton took his shot, it was high. Ellis trying to center, he did. Pulford deflected it, but wide. Wayne Mackey clears it right on the Walton stick. Walton fan with his shot, and here Palat makes sure of it by clearing it down the ice. Jim Pappen back for it. And Murray Oliver to Mike Walton. Ellis on the right. Got it in on the boards and behind the net. Dryden let it go over his stick. He's out of the net. Ellis tried to set up the blue line with Oliver and Pappen. It's against the boards. Urban stopped by Murray Oliver. Oliver for Walton. Walton couldn't deflect it. Wayne Mackey shoots it down the ice. Jim Pappen back. Pappen feeds Mike Walton. Walton tried to go through. Wayne Mackey cleared it out and down the ice, and Pappen is there to cover up. To Pulper. For Murray Oliver. Closing in with Conacher. Conacher trying to get a hold of it. The pass for Bobby Hull. Only Pappen back. Here goes Bobby Hull. All alone. One man back. And Pappen got a piece on it. Knocked it out to the side. Pappen to Walton. Warren is on the ice. Here's Bobby Hull right in front. Another shot, and Bauer stopped that. Here he is again, a shot. Oh, and Bauer stopped that one from point-blank range. Here's another shot. Bauer's got that one in his hand. What a play by Bauer.
Well, Bobby Hull has been the outstanding Hawk tonight, and he almost broke the goose egg. There's one try. The puck is loose in front. We watch it in slow motion as Hull tries to come up with it. It's loose again. Now watch him get that stick around and take the shot. Here it is. Bauer's trying to struggle to his feet. The shot is in behind just off the edge of the goal post, and Bobby Hull misses as the puck goes into the corner.
5 minutes and 16 seconds left. Leafs lead 4-0. Goes to Mahavlich. Mahavlich pulling away from Bobby Hull, the center. Here's his shot. He shot wide. Keon the rebound. Ryan Conacher centers it right in front. It comes to Horton. There's his shot. Conacher trying to center it. Goes behind the net. Took a shot, and Marat has it underneath him with Mahavlich at the goal crease. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Teams at full strength. Stanley. A shot. Right in front of that. Conacher standing there. Yes, he can score!
Well, Keon, as cool as a cucumber there, grabbed that loose puck after Conacher stopped that hard shot from Stanley. Watch Keon move into your picture now. He'll just pick it up, fool Dryden, and just flop it into that open net.
Toronto Maple Leafs 5. The Blackhawks nothing.
Toronto goal scored by number 14, Keon. Assist number 22, Conacher, and number 26, Stanley. The time 15-16.
Here's the pass again. It comes back to the blue line. Here's a chance for Bobby Hull. Bauer stopped that before. Warren finally knocked it into the net.
Well, Bauer was way out of the goal after stopping the first shot from Hull. Warren one-handed it into the net, as we'll see here. Hull picks up the puck, and in that great burst of speed, Bauer comes way out. The puck goes loose, and Warren, coming in, has one hand on the stick, but is able to steer it into the open net. There it goes. And there goes the shutout. 5-1 the score. Toronto over Chicago.
Chicago goal scored by number 17, Warren. Assist number 9, Bobby Hull, and number 2, Marat. The time 15:35.
15:35, Warren from Bobby Hull and Palat. After Keon had scored from Conacher and Stanley at 15-16. Two very quick goals. Here the Hawks back in the Leaf zone again. Bobby Hull getting it in front and cleared by Bauer out and down the ice. Pappen races after it. It's off Bobby Hull's skate to Rupp. He takes a flip shot that's caught by Dryden. Marat, bumped by Stemkowski. Have a face-off in the Chicago zone to the right. 3:50 left. Toronto Maple Leafs leading the Blackhawks 5-1. Two teams play again tomorrow night in Chicago. There's Marcel Pronovo's shot. He happened trying to get a whack at it. And it's brought back by number 5, Jeffrey Powers. Over the line, he left it there for Dennis Hall, who tried to feed it ahead to him, but he didn't see it coming. Dwayne Rupp for Wayne Carlton. Behind Stemkowski, the late whistle, Jarrett to Wallace. Stopped by Pierre Palat. Palat ahead to Nestorenko. Nestorenko stopped by Marcel Pronovo. And Pierre Palat fell. Gets up again. Goes to Jarrett, who flicks it up. Powis, number 5, lost it to Rupp. Offside, Wayne Carlton. About 2 strides ahead of him. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Murray Oliver, Bob Pulford, and Ron Ellis. As Oliver tries to feed Ellis, he does. Ellis takes his shot. It's weak off the leg of Dennis Hull. Dennis Hull stopped by Darryl Sly, is up for the second time in the game, playing on the defense with Stanley. Jarrett to Palat. Palat coming up slowly. Finally shoots it out off the board. Ellis is covered. Shot in by Sly. Jarrett goes back. Dryden leaving it there for him. 2:34 left in the game. A pass for Nestorenko. Nestorenko stopped by Stanley. Stanley hook checks it to Murray Oliver. And he just flips it into the corner as Jarrett falls over top of Murray Oliver. The puck is in the Chicago zone. Powis to Palat for Nestorenko. Nestorenko at his own blue line with Dennis Hull on the left, Powis on the right. Nestorenko over the line, offside, as Powis just kept skating in ahead of his teammate. 2:07 left in the game, 5-1 for the Maple Leafs.
Bill, the Montreal Canadiens have won their second in a row. That's a final now. Montreal 6, Detroit 2. Yvan Cournoyer, the individual star there, with 2 goals and 2 assists.
Those scoring plays in this final period were Keon from Conacher and Stanley at 15:16. Warham from Bobby Hull and Palat at 15:35. A long shot stopped by Bauer in the chest. Marcel Pronovo for Brian Conacher. Back to Dwayne Rupp. Up for Frank Mahavlich. A long pass for Conacher on the right side. Conacher trying to feed Walton. Walton tried to hit Mahavlich. Here's a chance for Rupp a shot, and that hit Pat Stapleton on the ankle. Gil Marat. Partially stopped by Conacher. Kit Martin going down with Bobby Hull. 1:36 seconds. Marcel Pronovo stepped into Martin. Here's Warham, a shot in front of the net. Bobby Hull trying to get a shot. Rupp trying to feed Mahavlich. And it's Warham who gets back very quickly. To Pat Stapleton. Up to center ice for Dwayne Rupp. Fakes a pass. Gets rid of it. Stapleton carries on away from Walton. Walton comes back after him. Bobby Hull stopped by Conacher. Conacher over the blue line, waiting for Mahavlich to get up with him, then cleared it behind the net. Mahavlich covered his check.
Play in the game.
Less than a minute to go as Bobby Hull comes down the ice at center. Over the blue line. Tried to center it, and Marcel Pronovo just shoots it to the blue line, past Stapleton, waits for it, past Stapleton, waits for it, Walton after it, and Marat gets rid of it into the crowd. Toronto Maple Leafs 5, the Blackhawks 1. 42 seconds remaining in the game. Hawks are making a change. Leafs have Stemkowski, Carlton, and Tappan with Stanley and Sly. Terbenci is out on the forward line. Here's Wayne Mackey losing it to Tappan. His shot is high and wide. Carlton back to Stanley. There's his shot, and that just missed the target. Mackey going up with Terbenci to center ice. Wayne Mackey is skated off by Stemkowski. Stanley with 18 seconds stays behind the net, and a pass to Darryl Sly. Darrell Sly up to Jim Pappen for Wayne Carlton. And it's picked up there by Billy Orban. Orban with 5 seconds. Just clears it up to Wayne Mackey. My goodness, he's coming. There goes the bell. We'll end the hockey game. And in just a moment, our 3-star selection and summary. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the 3 stars of tonight's game as selected by Foster Hewitt. The first star, Johnny Bauer. The second star, Frank Mahavlich. The third star, Bobby Hull.
The Leafs win this one by a score of 5-1, and you've been watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
Yep.
Expansion has come. The Maple Leafs win the opening game after winning the Stanley Cup the previous spring. Wayne Carlton will play in Toronto and then arrive in Boston in part of a trade and be on the ice for another pretty important goal.
Yeah, I was fortunate. I was still in Toronto till '69. Well, December actually. I was traded December 10th of '69, and to be honest, it happened. We were in Montreal, going to play Montreal Canadiens that on the Saturday night, and I got a call from Jim Gregory in the morning, and actually roomed with Ronnie Ellis, and he answered the phone and gave it to me, and Jim gave me the word that I was moving on, and my thing to him was very simply that thank God, I wish it had happened sooner. Where's my ticket and how do I get there? And I moved on to Boston, and the first game I played was against the Rangers, and we beat them 2-1. I got both goals and got off to a very good start in Boston.
Now, you're on the ice too when Mr. Orr goes flying through the air.
Yeah, again, another thing you'd always dream about as a kid coming up, having an opportunity to play on a Stanley Cup team, but to play on one that was an overtime winner, that probably, if not the greatest player that's ever played the game, certainly in the top 3 or top 2. It was just a big thrill, and it's something that lives with you forever. And I still get a bit of goosebumps just when you go back and think about how that transpired.
Now, Swoop, what are you up to these days?
Well, I have my own financial planning business in Collingwood. I've been at it for about 20 years, and my wife Elizabeth still nurses at the hospital, and my young lad has his party rental business in Collingwood, so we're all in Collingwood.
Well, up in God's country up north.
Yes, it's very nice up there with the water and obviously the mountains, and you're not that far from Toronto.
No, you're not.
But
well,
we really enjoy it.
We want to thank you for taking time to come down to the big city and be a part of this tonight. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Well, thank you very much, Joe.
Wayne Carlton has been our guest. We've taken him back to a couple of opening nights at the Gardens, first in 1966, and then October 14th, 1967, as the Leafs beat the Chicago Blackhawks. You've been watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. It's a Canadian game. Brought to you by Molson Canadian.